Hey, Society Church. I'm Anthony Martinez. This is Francis Martinez here with Rena
Hi.
Crocker from GreenHouse. We know with social distancing and meeting online that it's hard to kind of understand some of the things that we're doing with the Compassions team and the Compassions project. So we wanted to take a few minutes, invite Rena over here to talk about the GreenHouse, talk about not only the pumpkin drive that we're doing, but some of the other work that they're doing in the community, and really just share kind of the great stuff that's going on in Sacramento. So Rena, yeah, if you want to go ahead and tell us just a little bit about how things are going at the GreenHouse.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk with all of you today. Yeah, so at the GreenHouse, we, as all of you have since March, have been adjusting to the changes of the moment. I think we are just by nature a very what I would call incarnational ministry, where our model is really to be together in person, sharing life on our block. And so I think just adjusting to the season and social distancing and needing to do some things virtually, et cetera, has been a huge adjustment for us. I think simultaneously the needs in our community, academically, economically, in terms of mental health, all of that has just skyrocketed as well. So trying to track with that and yet needing to do that in really new ways. So we've done a lot of experimenting over the last 7 or 8 months. We were fully virtual in the spring. In the summer, we did some hybrid work. And now in the fall, we are doing our fall after school programs, but they just look really different than they've ever looked. We are working with kids almost one-on-one, sometimes one-on-two, if they're siblings, in order to reduce cross contact. But kids just really needing pretty intensive academic support. So offering that, still doing enrichment activities with kids, because space for art and being outside and time to play and be creative is also so important in terms of, intellectual development, but just mental wellness, which is a huge issue in our community. Still doing spiritual formation with kids, learning how to do that online and in very small groups. So we're just learning a lot, but it's been fruitful and challenging, just honestly, both of those things.
Fantastic.
A lot to be troubleshooting as well.
Great. And for anybody who's not familiar, can you just tell them about the GreenHouse and what you guys do and kind of who you serve?
Sure. We are a youth and family focused community center. We're located in the Gardenland Northgate neighborhood of South Natomas. We've been here for about 18 years, and we're located on a block of high density apartments that's home to, we'll find out actually after the census on a more precise level, but somewhere between 450 and 500 youth under the age of 18. So we really do holistic ministry, after school programs, leadership development, youth groups, art enrichment. We have a soccer team. We have a garden on the block to be able to do healthy lifestyles. So really wanting to be a space for kids and youth grow into the fullness of who God made them to be and see themselves kind of reflected in the mirror as God sees them. So yeah, it's I'm biased, but a wonderful ministry, and this is an intense season for us.
That's a lot of children. Do you guys know how many or what percentage of those children you guys are able to reach?
Yeah, it's a good question. We work in an intensive way with about 70 per year. And so that's really in like our, multiple times a week, all year round level. We run events, community events, usually our Harvest Carnival is one of those, and you guys have been partners in that over years, that, in which we'll have several hundred kids participate. And I think we do see, as part of our broader mission, building relationships with kids and families, you know, even ones that aren't in our programs, to be just part of building connection and positive community culture on a block that, you know, they're tension at times, and we want to be a part of, you know, helping again to build connection and help our community, you know, grow just in thriving and safety. So.
Yeah, I think just your presence in general changes the atmosphere of the block and the community, because there's kids laughing, there's kids playing, there's, you know, obviously you can see that there's a real intentionality in that space. So even if you weren't involved or you're a family that didn't know anything about it, you could walk by and you could see that there was something good happening right there. Mm-hmm. So that just, your presence alone changes the community.
I think that's true. And actually one thing that's really interesting right now, I will say, is we are doing all of our programming outdoors because, you know, that's just lowers transmission rates for COVID-19. So as a safety factor. So it's really interesting to be like, everything we do is out in the public display, like on the patio or on the lawn or at the park. You know, it's very public. And so we do find ourselves having conversations, and I think, you know, every community loves its kids and youth. And so I think there's a way that being part of this community's investment in young people, being able to partner with neighbors and families and stakeholders in holding that space kind of publicly in a unique way right now is actually a gift of this season.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk Harvest Carnival. We obviously, you know, we love partnering with you guys. We're raising pumpkins here as a church, but what else are you guys planning to do with the Harvest Carnival? I mean, how is that looking different versus prior years?
Yeah, you know, I think we are a little bit sad. We planned to have our big annual Harvest Carnival this year. Actually, we were going to really do it up big, and we're exploring some different opportunities. And, you know, so we're recalibrating. So, you know, this year, what we are planning to do is really to make sort of personalized harvest kits that will go out to all the kids in our programs and siblings and beyond. So kind of reaching out to families in the community. We are going to actually do pumpkin decorating. So you guys are making that happen, and we'll actually, you know, be doing that as an enrichment project with kids throughout that whole week before Halloween. So in our after school programs, we've decided this year away from carving, because that takes a lot of pretty intensive intimate adult support. So we're actually going to have them paint their pumpkins, but, you know, we're going to get googly eyes and all kinds of stencils and all kinds of different things they can use to really make creative pumpkins. So we'll be doing that with 1st through 12th graders in our programs. We're going to give out goodie bags as well, because, you know, trick-or-treating is a big question mark for most families this year. But we also actually really see this as an opportunity to reach out to kids and families that aren't in our program. So we're hoping beyond the kids we're working with to actually have kind of a pumpkin giveaway to families in the community. And so that's something we're looking at, again, how to do in the safest possible way, but just to be able to kind of say, we see you, we love you, you know, and want this to be a joyful season, again, to families beyond our immediate reach. So that's something that we'll be doing as well, just right outside our facility.
Yeah, I still remember last year's carnival. We were out there carving, and it's funny because naturally, I don't know why, but all the boys just kind of gathered around me. And so there were a bunch of boys there that were letting out some aggression, you know, stabbing their pumpkin and everything else. But there was this one little boy there, and I still remember it to this day. Like, it was probably one of the most impactful things about last year is he came up to me. He's 6 or 7 years old, and, you know, he was very unsure with the knife and he couldn't really scoop out all the insides of the pumpkin and everything else. But, you know, every little move he'd check with me, and is this okay? Is this good? And the very end, like, he was so proud of his pumpkin that he wanted me to see it. And granted, you know, there's 5 or 6 other kids around there. but he just waited with his pumpkin, holding it up to me and just looking, with this look of, is this good enough for you? Do I measure up? And it was just something that really touched me, because here's this little boy and he just wants me to tell him, like, hey, it's good. You're loved. I see you. It was just that stuck with me all year. So, you guys are doing great work out there. And I'm sure you see that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the deepest needs we all have as human beings is to be seen. That I'm seen, I'm cared about, ultimately by God at the deepest level, and also by each other. And I think that really is, that we seek to live that out in a lot of different ways, but that is the heart of the greenhouse, is to just be a space where young people are seen, valued for who they are, and given opportunities to grow in all the different ways that God made for them to grow. So anyway, so it's a joy to be part of that, and I love that you had that experience, because that's part of the gift, is it actually gives on both sides, to be part of that work, and we're really thankful for you guys as partners in that work.
So if anybody wants to go above and beyond and volunteer with you guys, are you guys taking volunteers at this time?
We are, and I really appreciate you asking about that. In response to our communities, we've done a lot of talking with families and a lot of surveying, and really heard from families that almost everyone we're working with really values in-person support for their child, feeling like, and I think there's a lot of barriers for distance learning, but ranging from language to tech access to just the ability of young children to pay attention online to school for extended periods. There's a lot of concern parents have for their kids and kind of what the impact of this season will be for them academically. So we are seeking to just be an anchor and a partner to families in this time. So if you are interested in volunteering, we actually do have a specific weekly spot to work with a student that we're looking to fill with a committed volunteer right now. And we're also looking for subs. Because we do one-on-one, we can't, because of our cohorting and some of the legal requirements, we can't fold kids in. If a volunteer needs to miss for a day or a week, we can't fold them in with another volunteer. We need a new adult to sit down and work with them academically. So we are looking both for, at this point, just maybe 1 to 2 volunteers who could come on a weekly basis. And then if there was someone who was willing to sub, we could contact you as needed and bring you in to work with a child on an as needed basis. That's kind of the shape of things, and we would really welcome partnership. One other thing I'll say quickly is if there was someone who was interested in being part of our sort of outdoor classroom team, we are having to learn how to hold outdoor programs. It's going to get colder. It's going to start to rain. And we're doing a lot of troubleshooting about how do we do that? What does it look like? So if any of you have sort of experience, expertise, or just interest in helping us think that through on a physical level, we would welcome that as well.
Fantastic. Well, Rena, thanks for your time. We'll go ahead and post your contact info online. Really looking forward to partnering with you and just having a great Harvest Carnival. So thanks again.
Thank you. So appreciate you and your love and support.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
All right.
Rena.
Thanks.